Reggie, you have spent some time around Chase Young, covering him all year.
Yeah.
Should he be the #1 overall pick?
I think he should be the #1 draft pick, and I think he will be the #1 draft pick. He is the most dominant player at his position in all of college football. When I think about Joe Burrow, who won the Heisman Trophy, he very much may be the first quarterback taken, as he should be, but you also got Tua Tagovailoa that's coming out this year. Justin Herbert from Oregon is coming out this year. And even Jalen Hurts is coming out this year in the draft. And I think a couple years ago, people might have questioned whether Jalen Hurts had a future in the NFL. But now seeing what quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and Lamar Jackson are doing in the league.
Agreed.
Now is the time for dual-threat quarterbacks to come out. Even at the receiver position, right? Jerry Jeudy is coming out, but you also got CeeDee Lamb.
Yep.
But when you talk about Chase Young, it's him and it's only him. There's nobody else. I think about the game against Wisconsin. He had 4 sacks. To me, the most impressive part about that game is that he actually should have had more sacks.
No.
He actually had about 2 or 3 more sacks that he left on the table. And so for Chase Young, he has the size, he has the speed. He's built kind of like a DeMarcus Ware. He has a great first step. His get-off is unbelievable. Uses his hands well. But the one thing that I think that makes him elite and that separates him from the rest is his ability to go 90 degrees once he is at the same level as the quarterback. And when you think about that, when quarterbacks are taught to step up into the pocket, right, when defensive ends are rushing past them. But if a quarterback steps up, Chase Young is meeting him right there. He's collapsing that pocket. And that's the thing that makes him different. Urban Meyer, we broke this down on our show when we were at the Wisconsin game against Ohio State. We did a breakdown of this. But when he gets to that second level, when he's at the same level as quarterbacks, there's nowhere for quarterbacks to step up. And that's the thing that makes him elite. That's why people compare him to the Von Millers, the Khalil Macks, because day one, he's going to be able to play right away. He's going to elevate the play of guys around him. He's a generational type player, and I don't think he's a guy you can pass up on an NFL draft.
Well, if there's a quarterback not close, because even though you mentioned Von Miller and Khalil Mack, you're not taking him over Aaron Rodgers. You're not taking him over Drew Brees. Because, Skip, for me, I'm always going to lean towards the guy that can score the points. Because at the end of the day, it's about putting points on the board. And Chase Young is not going to look, Skip, I got to do something to arouse that fan base in Cincinnati. And I know Chase Young played at Ohio State, and I'll get all that.
Right.
But defensive players, Skip, I mean, look, they sell a little bit, but it's a quarterback league. They don't put the rules in place. So they don't have any rules that says, okay, we want to protect the defensive lineman knees. We want to protect his head. They put all that for who, Skip? The quarterback. Because they want him on Sunday to be out there. And more times than not, when the starting quarterback is not out there, your chances of winning goes down, and the fans are not nearly excited. Skip, let's just say for the sake of argument, he's the highest rated player. And Joe Burrow is, say, slightly below. You take Joe Burrows because you take the quarterback, Skip. You got to have the quarterback. If I'm building a friend, look, Ndamukong Suh had his dominant season, senior season, as anybody that I've ever seen. And they took Sam Bradford because he was the guy that could score the points. And more times than not, Skip, that's the way they're going to lean. Now, Jadeveon Clowney came out. He was #1. But there's really not a quarterback. I mean, Johnny had all his issues going on, Skip. I think, didn't Johnny come out with Jadeveon? If I'm not mistaken. I think he did come out. Because that's when John Gruden said, I would take Johnny #1 and I wouldn't look back. And he'd have been fired as soon as Johnny didn't show up to work that day. We know why, Skip. But I would not take Chase Young. Not if it's close. If there's a quarterback close, and I don't know if it's going to be Joe Burrow, I believe Tua would have been the first quarterback had he not gotten injured.
I agree.
But somebody's going to get a great quarterback, Skip, because that hip injury is going to knock him down. And guess what? I believe the Miami Dolphins are going to be right there to fair catch him as he lands in their laps. But I wouldn't take Chase Young, Skip. I'm going to take a quarterback because I want a guy that can score points.
Let me ask you this question. If Cincinnati's on the board, right? They got the #1 draft pick, right? What quarterbacks are in that division, right? Lamar Jackson, Big Ben. You got quarterbacks that can move, that have proven to be really good. So I'm not listen, I know people are kind of are off of Andy Dalton, but you don't have to be aggressive in the NFL draft because you have a quarterback that has put up numbers, right? Has he been consistent? No, he has not. But you need a defensive player in that division to get after these quarterbacks.
What happened in your draft?
They took defensive end. Defensive end went first before me. Exactly.
Yeah. Mario Williams.
You're right, Mario Williams.
And Vince Young.
Were you surprised by it at the time?
I was surprised by it at the time.
Were you angry by it?
I was motivated. I wouldn't say I was angry, but I had a chip on my shoulder, and it was even bigger after I wasn't the number one draft pick.
Back to Mr. Sharpe.
Yes.
Table from me. In 2016 on this show, you made the case that J.J. Watt was the most valuable player in all of pro football. I said, no, it's a quarterback's game. But you said, no, J.J. was.
Yes.
Okay, so have you seen the light on that one?
Skip. I'm just Skip.
Okay, then in 2017 and 18, you made the case that Aaron Donald is now the most valuable player in all of football.
Skip.
You seen the light? Because they don't score points.
No, but I'm just, Skip, you base it on what you've seen. Now, granted, if you take Aaron Donald's best season and you take it against any quarterback's best season, say Peyton, Brady's, or any of the best seasons, even Aaron Donald with 20 and a half sacks, you taking the quarterback because even though he had the sacks and maybe prevented some, he didn't score no 50 touchdowns. He didn't prevent 50 touchdowns. So when you look at it like that, like I said, Skip, if it's close, like if Chase Young is here and Joe Burrow is here, well, you take the quarterback. I would.
So I am, to your point, more sold on what I've seen from Joe Burrow than I am on what I've seen so far from Chase Young. I like Chase Young, but I don't love him yet. I'd like to see the one more big stage game.
Clemson.
That's true.
Because this will be a test.
Yeah, this is it.
And I don't know if Dabo was blowing a little pregame smoke, but I saw him say the other day that Ohio State has a great defensive line, not just number 2. He said, I think their entire defensive line is pretty special. They're deep, they're physical, but obviously he concluded number 2 is the show.
Is the special player,
Okay, he's the special player. But let's think about what he just said. I think he's trying to make the point that is he somewhat a product of
so many
three
other guys
across,
right.
because they're all pushing their guy back into the
Right.
quarterback. And so far, maybe Chase Young will grow up at some point, but right now, he's more quickness than strength. You know, I don't see the terrorizing strength that obviously Lawrence Taylor finally had where he could just throw people out of the way.
Watch that Wisconsin game again. He's going to show he threw a couple guys to the side.
But then I watched the next Wisconsin game, and he threw nobody aside because they figured him out. And I saw the Michigan game, and it was a rout. But Chase Young, again, I'm just watching TV. I don't watch coaches' tape. But he didn't flash one time in the whole Michigan game. And again, you all know the Michigan game.
And you were 100% right on that because one of the things that Michigan did was they kept sliding the line to him. And so that's the ultimate sign of respect because when you're sliding the whole offensive line to one guy the whole game, there's gonna be ways to anybody can be stopped at some point.
He strikes me, Skip, as an angular guy, and you're right, he is bendy. But he strikes me more of a speed guy. Now, I'm telling you now, with these guys, these tackles are good, they'll just push you up the field. You better come with a change. And the thing is, you got to be able to bull, you got to be able to rip.
You have to have some bull rush.
Yes.
Or you won't survive
No.
if you're all quickness. Because Von Miller, he's got powerful legs. He developed some where he can shock you with a bull rush and knock you backwards.
And that's what Khalil does. I mean, they run you up the field, you start sitting light, because, okay, you about to go up the field. And the next thing you know, they run slap over the top of you, and they're in the quarterback's lap.
If I'm Cincinnati, to your point, you can look at glass half full, glass half empty. I get you need a pass rusher to negate those quarterbacks in your division.
You got to
need
score
a quarterback. You got to be able to score with them. You got to be able to try to match them. Joe Burrow is really, he is shockingly better than he was a year ago. He's so athletic. He can run now.
He can run. And he's already running an NFL-style offense. They're running the New Orleans Saints offense. That's the offense they're running.
I know they got 3 really good receivers, but, man, he does not make bad choices.
No, he doesn't.
And the thing is, Skip, at the end of the day, if you look at it, when you beat Peyton Manning, you had to score points. You beat Tom Brady. You're not beating Tom Brady 13-10. You got to get to the 20s. And so you got to get a quarterback that can get to those magic numbers.
You do. Rex did the best job against him of holding him down, and they won with Mark Sanchez a couple of times.
I mean, somebody to point out, too, if he went number 2, he is from D.C. He's from the Washington area. He'd be back with Haskins. He'd be back with McLaurin. And, I mean, that would be a pretty ideal situation for him.
And they have a pretty good defensive line.
Already.
Already.
Ryan Kerrigan.
Yeah, him and Ryan Kerrigan would be great together.
And the two guys from Alabama inside.
He's a difference maker. I've spent a lot of time with him over the years, and really his progression since he was a freshman, it is really special to be around. He's a difference maker, and he's a leader, and the guys respect him just incredibly well. And last time I was there, I made sure that Undisputed was on all the screens in the eating area. So I'm hoping everyone from Ohio State is watching. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.